Welcome to the Math Record. Today I'll be covering the ICTM Regional 2019 Division AA Algebra 1. As I said before in my previous video, I'm only now going to be covering the interesting questions that I like or the difficult ones. And for this contest particularly, I'm only going to answer question number 17 and question 20. And if you guys want to solve each of them by yourself, I'll just take a minute to scroll down for you. Okay. So pause the video whenever you like to solve it if you want. Okay, so that's all 20 questions. Okay, let's begin. Number 17. So positive integers a, b, c are such that 2 to the power 2p minus 2 to the power p minus c is equal to 2 to the power p plus a times 2 to the power p minus b, where a, b, and c are less than 2 to the power 3, which is 8, and p is a non-negative integer. Determine the sum of all possible distinct values for c. So what we could do, I'll just write 17 here, is basically we need to expand this equation. So 2 to the power 2p minus 2 to the power p minus c is equal to, and then 2 to the power p times 2 to the power p multiplies to 2 to the power 2p, and then plus a minus b times 2 to the power p, and then minus ab. Okay, so we see these two are the same on both sides, so subtract them out. And then we could combine like terms. So we'll pick AB minus C is equal to A minus B plus 1 times 2 to the P, right? So basically what we could do now is we could rewrite this as, say, it's AB minus C all over A minus B plus 1 is equal to 2 plus 2 to the power P. So one way you could do this is basically you could plug in for this equation right here. You could plug in values for p because they say p is not negative, so you could plug in 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. to find values for c that work, for values for a, b, and c that work. Or which this way, which I would like to do, which basically logically think that since 2 to the power p is an integer, that means this 2 to the power p is an integer. That means a times b minus c is an integer. So basically what we could do is that since we know a times b minus c is an integer, we have a and b, and we have c. So if a and b are even, so it doesn't matter which one's which, even times even is even. So to make the top even, this has to be even, right? Because the even divided by whatever is even, and an odd divided by whatever is never going to be even, so it has to be even on top. And then a and b could be even or odd. It doesn't matter which one's even, which one's odd. So even times an odd is even. Even minus an even is even. So we have to have even here. And if this is an odd and an odd, if they're both odd times odd is odd. Odd minus an odd will make an even. So this is the three types of combination that we can make. So this is assuming that if 2 to the power p is even, and that only works if that's like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, right, etc. But basically, the only one that's going to be an exception to a rule if it's 2 to the power 0, which makes 1. So that's going to be odd. So we have to check that one later. So basically, we have this. So we have to find all the possibilities. So what we could do is we could look at the even possibility. So let's say, since we know it has to be A, B, C is less than 8, right, in that order. If C is even, the highest possible even is 6. And then A and B could be either it's 2 and 4, the only possibility. So if even next 6 is now 4, your C is 4, then you can't have it because the only possible less is 2, and you can't double 2's. So that's it for this possibility. Now for even, odd, even, the highest even, 6, right? Now for when C is equal to 6, what can be even and odd for A and B? Well, even could be 2 and 4, right? And odd could be 1, 3, and 5. So the combinations are 1, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, and 5, 4, which makes 6 total combinations. So we could write that down. So we have 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, and 2, 5, and 3, 4, 6, and 3 and 4, 5, 6, right? I just put, so for those 6 combinations, I just put them in order from least to greatest. So then basically now we have that. So we have the when C is equal to 6. Now what happens if C is equal to 4? So the even is only 2 and the odd could be 1 and 3 because it's less than 4. So we have 1, 2, and 4 and 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 4 and 3, 2, 4, which is 2, 3, 4 in that order. Okay, so that's all of it. So now when odd, odd, odd possibility, the highest is 7. So that will be 1, 3, and 5. So 1, 3, 1, 5, and 3, 5, 7. Those are the only possibilities. And then we have if odd is now not 7, but 5, if it was 5, then it could be 1 and 3. Okay, so that's all our possibilities that we need to check. So let's think about this. Looking at this equation, what possibilities would not work? We know B is greater than A, right? So if B is greater than A by 1, this is going to become -1, and -1 plus 1 is undefined. And why is that? So if we look at this, if this is 0, right? 0 times a number is 0, and if this is 0, but this part isn't equal to 0, then this is not going to be true at all. So the only way would be if A minus B is a difference of 1s, which is only this one, this one, this one, this one, because 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, right? And 1, 2, 2, 3, and that's basically it. And then basically A times B has to equal C. So A times B equals C, so that's 0, 0. So this one works. And so if this one works, we don't have to check any more of the 6s because we know already a 6 works for C. So this is out, 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 and this is out. So we don't even have to check those anymore. So we know C, 6 works. Now 1 and 2, that is 2. So 2 does not equal 4. So that tells us that this side is equal to 0, but this side is a number. So this one does not work. 2, 3, and 4. 2 times 3 is 6. That doesn't work because 6 is not equal to 4. So it's the same case as this. And now we have 137, 157, 357, and 135. So let's check if one of these works. So we have 1 and 3, A, B, and C for 137. So that makes 3 minus 4 is 3 minus 7 is -4. And then that would be -2 plus 1 is -1. And -4 divided by -1 is 4, which is 2 to the power 2. So P is 2. So this works. So we know 7 works. So, so basically, we don't have to check these 7 anymore because we just need to know that 7 exists for C because that's what they're looking for. And now let's see if C could equal 5. If we put 1 and 3 in there, that's 1 times 3. 3 minus 5 is -2. And then 1 minus 3 is -2. Plus 1 is -1. So -2 divided by -1 is 2. And that's 2 to the power 1. So P equals 1. So that's an integer, positive integer. So this works also. So basically, that gives us that C could be 7, 6, and 5. Okay, so we need to remember that. And I'll write it down. So that's when 2 to P is equal to even. So 7, 6, and 5. So we know those work for C. So if 2 to P is not even and it's odd, then it's just 2 to the 0. That's 1. So that means AB minus C equals over A minus B plus C. A minus B plus 1, I mean, equals 1. So you could just multiply to the other side, which gives us A minus B plus C. And then to isolate your C, you have AB minus A plus B minus 1 is equal to C. Distribute out your A, so A, B minus 1. And I'm just going to put a parentheses over this B minus 1. And then we see a B minus 1, B minus 1. So basically what we would do, we would have A plus 1, because there's a 1 in front of the parentheses, B minus 1. So this is just like factoring, basically simplifying by combining like terms. So now we have B plus 1 and A plus 1 and B minus 1 equals C. So imagine, and remember, A has to be less than B and B has to be less than C. So if A is 1 and let's say B is 2, that is 2 times 1, that's 2, doesn't work, right? Because C and B cannot be equal to each other. Let's say A is 1 and B is 3. That's 1, 3. That's 2 times 2. That's 4. That works. A is less than B is less than C. So we know 4 works now for C. And we don't have to check the rest because since 4 is the lowest amount because the 2 is the smallest, and then 4. So it's got to get numbers that are higher. And you could see why, because if you put in like 1 and like let's say 4 now we get 3 times 2 is 6. We get higher each time because we're increasing A and B. So this C would increase. So 4 is the lowest possible. And since the numbers only could go from here to here, right? So from 1 to 8, because the lowest possible integer for A is 1. So it can't be 1, 2, and 3 because that's lower than 4. So we add all these possibilities, which is 9, 15, 22. And that is your answer for number 17. Okay. Number 19, a train crossing a 500-meter long bridge at noon clears the bridge completely 50 seconds later. A stationary observer noticed that the train takes 10 seconds to completely pass him. Determine the rate of the train. So basically, we could just draw a picture. So let's say we have a bridge, and it took 50, and it's 500 meters, and it took 50 seconds. So 50 seconds. So basically, we have a train, and it went from here to here, right? So for it to complete it, it has to go from here to here, from the back, right? And then let's say we have a passenger, I mean some person, a bystander, right? That was like standing right here, and then there was a train, there was that same train, and is moving at the same speed, and it went over here, right? So the back went over here. So basically, now we have to find the rate at which is moving. So if we think about it, if our train is length L, then the back has to move the distance of L plus that 500. So that is L plus 500 divided by your seconds, which is 50. So the rate's the same. So it's equal to, this one took 10 seconds, right? And it has to move L amount, right, from the back to the front. So basically, we have L over 10 seconds. And now we could cross multiply and solve for L. Plus 10, 500 equals 50L. So subtract that, that's 10 times 500 equals 40L. Cancel out the 10s, and then there's a 4 on the bottom. So 500 over 4 equals L. And this is the length, right? We want the rate, so we just need to plug into one of these two. It doesn't matter. And I'll choose this one because it's easier. So then 500 divided by 10, that's 50. And then they're still divided by that 4, which is 25 over 2. And that's your answer for number 19. And that basically covers number 17 and 19. So if you want to get the answer, these are all answers for 1 to 20. And we were right, 22 and 25 over 2. Well, that basically covers everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next math record.